This is part 2 of my interview with a Medellin Colombia paramedic. Again, you need to listen to this. Follow along.
Hey, you watching, man? Right now, you're watching dcbornrob on YouTube. Make sure to hit like and subscribe.
Okay, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever it is you're located. Thanks for watching. My name is Rob Christian, also known as DC Born Rob, DC Rob. I answer to them all. Thank you guys for watching. If you ever get any benefit out of my videos, do me a favor, go down and hit the subscribe button, click the bell to be alerted of any new videos, and like. Like helps the YouTube algorithm. The more you hit like, the more people get to see the video. For everybody who took a second and go down and hit like,
thanks for hitting like. You did the right thing by hitting like. Thanks for hitting like. Thanks for hitting like. DC Born Rob.
They say this like you could say this is a tip. If they start becoming very good friends with you and you start revealing your stuff, chances are they probably gonna later on gonna get you.
yeah, I've been telling people for the longest time, don't tell people how long you're going to be there. Don't tell them where you stand. Keep your private stuff private. So
Yeah.
does she
Yes.
think that the gangs are part of this? Does she think it's organized? Does she think when somebody when a girl takes a guy back to his hotel or his Airbnb, that there possibly is somebody outside that's waiting and working with her?
¿Tú piensas que hay, vamos a decir, organizaciones criminales que están involucradas en esto para coger la víctima?
O sí, a veces pueden ser varios grupos, personas que ya, por ejemplo, como ya saben que vienen muchos extranjeros para esa ciudad y saben que tienen dinero, entonces ellos se pueden armar, son varias personas, entre esas mujeres, ¿por qué utilizan más las mujeres? Porque son hombres que vienen con sed de conseguir mujeres, sexo, y claro, es una presa súper fácil para ellos hacer las fechorías. Inclusive, el medicamento que ellos más utilizan, la scopolamina, para los ladrones y violadores, es un medicamento súper bueno para ellos utilizar en los extranjeros, ¿sí? Pero son drogas, es una droga muy que hay que tenerle un poco de respeto, porque si se pasan, ya como les decía, se puede morir o puede quedar con secuelas esa persona o puede que no le haga nada.
She said yes. She actually do believe that there's gangs and organized crimes behind this. And she said they use mostly women because a lot of foreigners, when they come in for the females, it's a lot easier to trap them.
Mm-hmm.
They use more females just because it's easier to get the guys. And once they get them, you got pretty much. And she said that they use mostly scopolamine because the most frequent one is the easiest one, and to pretty much get the victim. So she believes that there's gangs behind this, and they use the females just to have an easier trap to capture these men. When they just come to Colombia, they just want females.
Exactly. I did a video the other day about staying off of the dating apps. Number one, Tinder. People will push back on me and tell me, oh, I met my girl there, I met my wife there. And I think it is possible. But does she think it's worth the risk to date somebody on Tinder or any other app like that?
Él dice, si hay como un riesgo, vale la pena para buscar, vamos a decir, una mujer en las aplicaciones como Tinder.
Bueno, el riesgo existe de diferentes formas, ¿sí? Hay personas que han buscado pareja de Tinder y les ha ido muy bien, ¿cierto? Es un riesgo muy alto porque muchas veces no se conoce la persona, o te cita aparentemente bien, o por ejemplo cuando es una cita de persona a persona, no sabemos exactamente, ¿sí? Siempre va a haber un riesgo de la forma que tú lo utilices, ¿sí? pero no, o sea, o dependiendo la página, ¿sí? Pero no es, o sea, es difícil yo saber que tú si eres bueno, tú si eres malo, porque nosotros nos conocimos pues por una página.
She said there is risk everywhere, but the risk is higher when you do like dating website or apps like Tinder, because chances are you don't know 100% of the person, what are their motive, like let's say behind the scene. She said yes, there's some successful relationships out there from dating apps, but the risk is a lot higher using them.
Exactly. Okay. I'm not sure if I asked this already, but out of the druggings that she's seen, out of the druggings of scopolamine that she's seen, what percentage does she think that they are foreigners? Any other country other than Colombia?
De la scopolamina, ¿cuánto tú he visto, cuánto porcentaje tú piensas que son más, vamos a decir, extranjeros? ¿Cómo el porcentaje, cuánto tú piensas, el porcentaje con el efecto de scopolamina, cuando son efectos más más afectados, así con extranjeros, ¿cuánto el porcentaje tú ves?
No, pues el tiempo que haga efecto de 2 a 3 horas, pero el porcentaje real, bueno, yo hablaba ahorita de un porcentaje, pero es alto, solo que no se logra definir en mi experiencia qué tan cierto o diga, por ejemplo, una cifra real, porque es muy difícil, ¿sí? Yo qué calculo, sí, hay mucha gente que es víctima de esa sustancia por la condición que se encuentra, ¿sí? Pero realmente exactamente no tenemos todavía un porcentaje bien claro, ya que tiene muchas drogas o ha ingerido muchas drogas, ¿sí? No se sabe exactamente, porque muchas veces de las personas que se encuentran en hoteles, ¿sí?, o que consumieron drogas, no te van a decir, o están en un estado de somnolencia, o inconscientes, con dificultad para hablar. Ya eso es.
She says this, she doesn't know personally the exact percentage, but she said it's very high, extremely high. One of the biggest reasons they don't have an exact number is due to because a lot of the victims, there's other drugs involved, pretty much, and they don't know exactly the exact percentage, because sometimes it's very difficult. Sure. Because of the effect of, let's say, some of the victims, they have multiple drugs in their bloodstream, so it's hard to tell. But she said it's the percentage is very high.
Okay. Is there just her general thought, not holding her to this or anything, but is there a consensus or a thought process within Colombians that have a lack of sympathy for foreigners who come down and get drugged?
¿Tú sientes que, por ejemplo, o decir, entre los colombianos, siente, vamos a decir, una pena por los extranjeros estar endrogados?
Claro, sí. Qué vergüenza, es una pena grande, o sea, se siente como una lástima, pobre que le sucedió eso, sí, o sea, no, porque las condiciones que nosotros los encontramos, por ejemplo, el último que encontré hace un mes más o menos, que era de Texas, estaba en una condición que él no sabía que le había pasado, no hablaba, estaba en una condición, o sea, de que no podía hacer las cosas por su propia cuenta, y ellos muchas veces no recuerdan qué fue lo que pasó, solamente hasta el momento que estaban, ejemplo, en un lugar y ya, o se fueron para una fiesta y ahí quedaron, ¿sí? Entonces no tienen, o sea, y es triste ver eso, ¿sí? Porque a veces es como impotente saber que no tiene familiares, no tiene documentos para llamar, ¿sí? No sabemos nada, o sea, queda como a expensas de lo que quieran hacer con ellos. Y es triste verlos así.
Y así se siente muchos colombianos cuando ve que a un extranjero le pasa eso.
Claro que sí. Igualmente acá, lo bueno es que aquí en Colombia las personas extranjeras no pagan nada. Primero es la vida, ¿sí? Y ya después se soluciona el resto. Pero siempre se les tiene una atención de inmediato, independientemente de cómo lleguen.
She said yes. Herself and many Colombians here, they feel sad for, let's say, an American or any foreigner that fall victim, because many times they don't have nothing. They don't have no family members, or they're here and they feel sad that a visitor that's trying to enjoy Colombia, they're trying to enjoy their time here, made it to that state. She said, for example, there was a person from Texas, the last person she took care of. A person from Texas was a victim. He did not know where he was. He didn't know what happened, pretty much. He was like confused that he was like drugged. But overall, the Colombians as a whole, they feel sad that this will occur or occurs with foreigners.
So there is there's sympathy, and I'm wondering if they get a little callous and get a little coarse and say, "That's what you deserve for doing drugs," or "That's what you deserve for, going out with a prostitute." I'm just wondering if they have that thought process. But what you're telling me is that they do have sympathy. Other Colombians feel bad when foreigners fall prey to this drug and these people.
Yes, that's what she said.
Okay.
Let me ask her that last part that you said. If they will, you see, that's what happened. Let me ask her this. ¿Tú sientes que hay colombianos que siente pena porque, vamos a decir, por eso que te pasa, por usar droga, por usar estas mujeres, mira lo que te pasa, está bien que te pasó eso porque cogiste la ruta mal? ¿Tú sientes que los colombianos dicen eso o no?
Pueden ser algunos los que son pues escépticos, si me entiende, de pronto de algunas personas extranjeras, pero la mayoría no. Por ejemplo, el paisa trata de ayudar mucho. Ejemplo, en mi caso, que he ayudado a personas extranjeras a, fíjate bien, el último que te está consiguiendo una muchacha, fíjate bien, cuídate, o les dicen, los cuidan, hay gente que los cuida, ¿sí? Pero ya no pueden hacer más cuando se meten a los lugares prohibidos.
She said there may be a few Colombians that maybe had that course, like that remorse, like you see that's what happened for you to be going on the wrong route. She said, like, most of the paisa, and maybe you have experience with this, the local paisas, they normally try to take care of you. They will say, hey, do not go there, do not do this or that. But once you decide on your own to go on the bad route, let's say, hey, you know what, screw this, let me just go and do drugs, or let me go and hook up with these random females. That's pretty much on you. You're pretty much putting yourself exposed out there and to become a victim. But overall, as a general, the Colombians, they want you to be safe. They want you to enjoy time here. They want you to be happy, and you could go back to whichever country you came from. Hey, Colombia was a great country. The locals took care of me. They took care of my safety. That's pretty much the majority. Yes, there's going to be a few bad apples, or they don't care. But as a whole, everyone wants you to be safe, and everyone wants you to have a good experience and a good time in Colombia.
Exactly. That's awesome. That's awesome to hear. So just a couple other questions for her. As a paramedic, what does she see? What she sees during her job, does it affect on her view of what she sees just in general life? I mean, does it affect her in any kind of way?
Lo que tú haces en tu trabajo, ¿te afecta en alguno, vamos a decir, mental o emocional? ¿Algo te afecta a ti de tu trabajo?
Sí, realmente sí, es triste verlos en esa condición. Quisiéramos que no les sucediera eso, porque muchas veces se mueren, muchas veces no se pueden encontrar los familiares, y no poder ayudarlos en más cosas es difícil.
She said yes because she doesn't want to see her patient on that condition. She wants them to pretty much be in a good state. And it affects her. I mean, it affects her mentally, sometimes emotionally, because she doesn't want to see, especially visitors, in that state.
Mm-hmm.
Por ejemplo, son afectados son las personas adultas mayores, ¿sí? De 45 años hacia arriba, que muchas veces las sustancias que consumen lo dejan mal.
Mm-hmm. And she said also she feels even worse when the victim is actually like an older person, like above 45 and older, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so since she's a frontline responder, how does she cope with the loss of a patient?
Como tú eres una trabajadora de primera línea, ¿cómo tú, vamos a decir, el estado emocional cuando una paciente ya está muerta? ¿Cómo tú reaccionas, cómo tú sobrepasas a eso?
Bueno, inicialmente es triste, ¿sí? Pero en mi caso, que estoy acostumbrada a eso, no me afecta tanto. Hay ocasiones, dependiendo de pacientes cómo quedan, si me deja pensativa, se pudo hacer esto, ¿por qué no se hizo esto? ¿Sí? Entonces, muchas veces nosotros tenemos programas donde nos ayudan a nosotros en cuanto a psicología, ¿sí? Y nosotros mismos cauterizamos como ese sentimiento que tenemos para que eso no nos deje afectar.
She said one of the ways to get cope, she said at the beginning when she started her career as a paramedic, it affected her, but because she sees this a lot, she got used to it. But there's programs that they offer to the paramedic, psychological programs to cope of a loss of a patient. And sometimes it helps a lot. And she said that many times there are some events that she said that what if I would have done this, or what if they would have called earlier, or what if this occurred? Would this person would have been saved or not? But she said right now she's used to it because she sees it almost every day when she works. And sometimes you just got to go to one of these programs, these support programs that they offer to the paramedics, just so you could overcome these situations from seeing a patient die.
Yeah, that's good for them. And make sure when we're done, you convey to her my thanks, and I'm sure the thanks from our viewers for the job that she's doing. You know, paramedics, firefighters, police, I have all respect for them, for the good cops. I have all respect for them and what they do to save our lives, because a fireman, I couldn't do it. Police officer, I couldn't do it. So we much appreciate what she's doing. I was done with my question, but one question that I asked earlier kind of migrated into another question in my head, and this had to do with the bottle of water or drink in a bar. And you said if the bar, you know, like you open a bottle of water, you should hear it clicking as it's open, so you know it's a new bottle of water. If it's open, you have a problem. Are you thinking that the bartender in this business had something to do possibly with putting scopolamine in your drink?
Tú piensas, por ejemplo, vamos a decir, si tú estás un palo o en una tienda comprando agua, tú sabes que cuando se abre se oye el sonido. ¿Tú piensas que vamos a decir, el bartender está involucrado a veces? ¿O tú piensas?
Muchas veces puede que esté involucrado, ¿sí? No podemos saber a ciencia cierta si lo está, Porque, ejemplo, las bandas criminales te pueden pagar a ti como bartender, listo. Si la presa cae, te puedo dar 200.000 pesos, dependiendo de lo que tenga. Entonces se reparten. Pero puede que sí esté involucrada en eso.
She said yes, the bartender may be involved. It's not 100% sure, but it may occur because maybe she said that the organized gang may offer a percentage to the bartender if they get a victim. She said, she used an example, you know what, I'm going to give you 200 pesos if you put scopolamine on one of the victims' drink. If that person falls prey and we get our money or whatever that's valuable, we're going to give you a cut. It might happen.
Perdón, que se me olvida. Bueno, algunos utilizan la mayormente que es en la bebida, pero eso ellos te pueden dar ejemplo, te dan algo en un perfume, huela para que te lo compres, tú lo hueles y ahí empieza a hacer efecto. O en el cigarrillo también le echan esa sustancia. Ejemplo, también un beso, cosas así, también hace efecto.
She said sometimes, not always on drink, but the most common to be a prey is drinks, but sometimes they may use a perfume. Hey, you want to test out this perfume? Here, they put it on a piece of paper, they spray the perfume, and the victims sniff it. So if they sniff it, they fall prey, or in a cigarette, or maybe a cigar, or some other object. But the most common is sometimes they use drinks as well.
Wow. I mean, I've thought of every other thing, from the stories that I've heard, from, putting it on a doorknob, or the taxi driver that gave sanitizer that had it in it. I mean, these guys are some easy prey. I mean, they're fish in a barrel. Some of these guys. So I appreciate both of your time, Mrs. X and Mr. X. Is there anything that you can think of that I missed, or anything that you would like to state to my viewers before we jump off? Both of you.
¿Tú tienes otra recomendación, o tú tienes algo que no decimos, que se te olvidó, para recomendarlos para que estén seguros?
No, eso es como todo, o sea, saber qué sitios, tener cuidado con las bebidas, la información, no darla a mucha gente, porque algo que tiene, por ejemplo, colombiano es que es muy amable y fácilmente te puede tener tu amistad y tú le confías, ejemplo, muchas cosas. Entonces, ser prudente como con la información a las personas de qué haces, cuánto dinero ganas, así como eso, pero del resto es como eso. Por ejemplo, cuando llegan a los lugares, a los aeropuertos, también con la información de las personas que los llevan hacia los hoteles, ellos también se pueden quedar grabados o saber si va a salir o a qué lugar. Esas recomendaciones que ellos dan, tratar de no aceptarlas, porque no sabemos si puede ser como una presa fácil para que los roben o tener información de ellos.
One last recommendation she gives is pretty much know your location, know where you're going. If you're going to go to let's say a place for the first time, research the place first, do your due diligence. And also a good recommendation, she said, don't expose yourself like, hey, your job, how much you earn, where you're going, because sometimes a lot of the Colombians, they're very friendly, and you become, let's say, attached to them very quickly. You earn their trust very quickly. Just be careful with that. Not saying that the Colombians are bad people, but there may be a few bad apples that they get intelligence from you. They gather information from you, and then they're gonna start to plan out how to get you. Mm-hmm. Or she's saying coming from the airport, let's say a taxi driver driving you from the airport to your hotel. Just be careful if they start talking to you, asking you questions, or because the taxi driver might be involved in a criminal organization. just be cautious. All the information you spill out to everyone at first,
Sure.
because some of them might be bad. And then if they give you recommendation, she said this final point. Sometimes, let's say these taxi drivers, they give you, okay, what you want to do? Okay, I recommend you to go to a certain area. They have the best bars, the best drinks, and all that stuff. It might be a trap. Not 100% sure, not 100% all the time, but it might be a trap. Mm-hmm. Maybe the taxi driver is recommending you to go to such bar, and that bar may get info from the taxi driver. And then they say, okay, here's one of our victims that the taxi driver told us. You know what? Let's put some scopolamine or anything. So just be careful. Just be careful giving out information. Don't give out papayas like they say here in Colombia. Don't show off your wealth, pretty much, because you become a easy prey.
Las cosas, o sea, si va a salir a disfrutar de la vida, porque muchas veces la persona no logra decir hasta aquí nomás y no sabe qué le va a suceder. Siempre yo les recomiendo sacar una copia de su documento de identidad o tener una manilla, ¿sí? Para lograr identificar un número telefónico, ¿sí? Dejar todo el lugar donde, para que después sí pueda recuperar las cosas. Otra cosa, otro nombre que también se le da, la burundanga, aquí se le llama la burundanga, pero es el nombre del polvito, le dicen así burundanga porque tiene varios narcóticos, entre esos la escopolamina, pero tiene varias sustancias.
And also she says she recommends visitors to have a photocopies of your IDs, passports, if you have a bracelets with your information, just in case something happens to you, they can identify easily your name, number, who your emergency contact. And then right now she just added something else. I'm not sure the translation in English. They call it a burundanga. It has a multiple scopolamine and some other drugs in it, and some narcotics.
What is that?
¿Cómo se dice?
Burundanga.
Burundanga.
Por ejemplo, le dieron burundanga. O sea, la persona está, ejemplo, muchas veces inconsciente, tirado por ahí en la calle, no dice el nombre, está desorientado. Lo que pasa es que esa es la droga que más utilizan los ladrones porque es la que más tiene, o sea, la deja mal para robarla. ¿Sí?
Entonces, otro tipo como de scopolamina o lo mismo.
Se identifica casi similar, ¿sí? Algunos la utilizan diciendo que escopolamina, pero es un polvo que tiene más narcóticos, incluye la escopolamina. ¿Sí?
Okay.
No va sola, sino tiene otras sustancias.
So she's saying it's very similar to scopolamine, but it has more substance. Seems like from my understanding, it seems like it's a lot stronger because there's more drugs, so more substance inside.
Algunos lo llaman a las escopolaminas y burundanga, sí.
But it's very similar. It's very similar to scopolamine.
Okay.
También, digamos, burundanga. Sí.
Burundanga.
Okay. It sounds familiar. I thought that was the name of the plant, but I can't keep track of all this.
I mean, this is something new too for me. I never heard of this.
Wow.
This is something new that I'm hearing.
Okay. Please, thank you to you, Mr. X, and thank you to Mrs. X. Make sure you let her know how much we really appreciate her jumping on. Again, my whole goal with this channel is to keep my viewers, well, first, to travel internationally, number one, because I truly think it changes who you are for the better, but also to travel safely. And she is definitely saving lives by her coming on today. So tell her much thanks for this. If we change and save one person or two people or three people, she has done her job. So thank her so much for coming on. We really appreciate both of you guys.
Thank you for the invitation. Dice que muchas gracias por la información porque puede ser que tú has salvado 1, 2, 3 o muchas personas con tu experiencia.
Bueno, que de nada, igual estamos para servir de todas maneras. A nosotros nos encanta que vengan los extranjeros a visitar nuestras culturas, sino que ya se tiene como una mala fama los extranjeros porque sabemos que vienen a consumir drogas, a mujeres, ¿sí me entiendes? Pero no es el ideal. Los invitamos para que la gente venga a disfrutar de este país, que es muy bonito, tiene muchas cosas para disfrutar.
She said she's very welcome for the invitation as well, but she said, you know what, come to Colombia, be one visitors here, be one of the foreigners to know the country very well. Unfortunately, there's a few that damage the reputation because a lot of them, they just come for the sex and drugs. But you know what, just we're open arms. We're here in Colombia. We just want you to come and enjoy our country.
Exactly. That's my goal, to encourage people to come. I still say come no matter what. I mean, not no matter what, but as of right now, I'm telling you, these are anomalies, and they are mostly, the druggings anyway, are associated with certain things. The girls, the drugs. I mean, pick an avenue and you're headed in that same direction. So keep that in mind. You're risking a lot. You're risking a lot. You're risking your life when you get involved in that. Don't blame Colombia for that. Blame the fact that you got in the wrong mix, or around the wrong people, or talk too much, or flash too much, or threw money in the air like they're doing in Cartagena. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't wear flashy clothes. Don't act flashy. Don't be boisterous, because you definitely stand out when you're boisterous. Oh, yeah, yeah. And you're yelling and screaming in a club or something, and you're a mark. They see this. You cannot always see who's watching you. So I'm talking to my viewers right now. I want you guys to stay safe. I do these videos to keep you safe. I need you guys to stay safe. Come back and tell other good stories and join our group. Again, as Mrs. X said, there's strength in numbers and there's safety in numbers. So go out in groups. Don't go out alone. Let people know where you are. Send them, drop a pin and let them know where you are with your burner phone and your ID. Make sure your front desk people or the guard up front of your Airbnb is checking IDs, who knows who you are, and definitely has, I mean, every Airbnb and hotel I've ever stayed in there asked me for my passport. So they know who I was, but I never brought anybody back there. I'm not gonna, I can't end up that way. So again, much thank you to both of you guys. Thank you so much. Please give my best to Mrs. X, for me, Mr. X. Much appreciated. You guys have been on for more than, well, exactly an hour and a half. So I really appreciate your time. Again, we're saving lives here.
Thank you.
All right, guys. You have a good night, okay?
Take care.
Okay. Muchas gracias.
Join me on social media. I am dcbornrob official on Instagram. I am dcbornrob official 1 on TikTok. I am dcbornrob O on Twitter. Don't be like this guy right here. You're just so stupid. I had to send you a video to let you know that you're so stupid. That's right. Don't be like this guy right here. Join me on social media.
We have a YouTube channel. Like it. Please comment and share if you like the video. Please subscribe and kick the bell.